This has major implications for the New York Islanders. Tonight is the NHL Draft Lottery, and the Islanders are going to have the chance to move up to either first overall or second overall in this year's NHL Draft, which would be a huge opportunity for the team and really change the direction of the franchise. In this episode of Islanders Digest, we're going to break down the Islanders' chances of moving to first or second overall in this year's NHL Draft Lottery, and also talk about the chances the Islanders move down. Because while we don't want to talk about it, this definitely is a possibility. Before we get into that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Really show the hockey gods that you want the New York Islanders to win the NHL Draft Lottery. Anything can help. I'm definitely superstitious. I'm wearing my favorite Islanders shirt, an old shirt. It has holes in it, but I caught it in a game. It got shot to me. It was lucky. So you know what? If you have any lucky Islanders memorabilia or anything like that, be sure to use it and really help the Islanders win this lottery. And subscribing to the channel can really show the hockey gods that you want the Islanders to win this lottery and draft one of Matthew Schaefer or Michael Misa, both players who would absolutely change the future of this franchise and really become the best players on the Islanders for years to come. Now let's really get into the odds the Islanders win this lottery. They're not great. The Islanders were the 10th worst team in the NHL, which means there are 9 teams that have better odds of winning this lottery than the Islanders. They have a 3.5% chance at winning the first overall pick and a 3.7% chance at winning the second overall pick. In addition, there also is the possibility that they do move down. And what's really exciting about this year's NHL Draft Lottery is it's going to be live at 7 p.m. We're going to be able to watch the draft lottery Eastern time, and the Islanders are going to have 35 number combinations, at least the way it's explained. So it's not going to be like that one year where there were 8 balls in the lottery machine and one of them comes out because those 8 teams all had equal odds because it was that random pick, number E, that got the draft lottery, which ended up having the Rangers logo on it, which was absolutely awful. It's not going to be a big machine with a bunch of NHL logos inside of it. Instead, there's going to be these number combinations. The Islanders have 35 combinations. I looked at all the numbers. This is just a couple of them. In general, if the number does not have has a number anything higher than 7 at the end as the first number, then the Islanders did not win the lottery. They don't have anything beyond 7. But these are your 35 lucky numbers. Maybe play them for some sort of lottery in real life or something, and really give the Islanders some extra luck because they're going to need it. As we talked about, the chances of the Islanders winning the lottery are not incredible, but they're not nothing. One thing to emphasize, that 3.5 and 3.7, while the Islanders can't win both lotteries, that's not possible. You can only win one pick. Those get added to each other. So together, the Islanders have an 8 or 7.5% chance of moving up this lottery, either first overall or second overall, and both. Honestly, I don't think it would matter too much for the Islanders which pick they move up to, especially in a year like this year where Misa and Schaefer are so close to each other. I do think the Islanders need a defenseman a little bit more, so I would prefer number 1, but either one of those players would be a huge addition to the New York Islanders. Those are the 2 prospects, and if the Islanders win the lottery, we are going to talk a lot more about them. If they don't win the lottery and they are picking in the 10 to 12 range, we will be talking about a lot of other exciting prospects. And I do want to emphasize, while this year's draft is not as exciting as next year's draft, at least by the way people are talking about it, and that's mainly because there's no Gavin McKenna this year. There's no franchise player this year. And people are making the jokes, oh, well, if we do win a lottery, this will be the lottery of all lotteries we win. Let's stop that right now. These players are really exciting, and both would absolutely change the future of the New York Islanders. And beyond that, while this is not an incredibly deep draft in the sense where late first-round picks definitely do not have the same value, as I've been talking about and teasing on this channel, now that we're going to get into talking more about the draft-eligible players and who the Islanders can select, there are a lot of exciting prospects for the Islanders to choose from, especially in the 10 to 12 range. The issue with this draft is it's not as deep as previous drafts. So after the 14 range, there is a stark drop-off for the potential and quality of these prospects. One that the Islanders will not have to worry about because, again, the lowest they can pick, the worst possible scenario, and there's only a 0.9% chance, is the Islanders draft 12th overall. More likely, the most likely scenario is the Islanders will be drafting at 10th overall, which is where they ended up in the standings. That has a 73.3% chance, and then there's an 18.4% chance the Islanders move back. And that would mean one of the teams behind them moved up. And the one scenario that really scares me is the team that is one spot behind them with a 3% chance and a 3.2% chance to win the first and second overall pick is the New York Rangers. The Rangers have had a lot of lottery luck in recent seasons. Do not want to see them win this lottery. Now, as you can see, after the Rangers, nobody can win the first overall pick. They are the lowest team that can win that pick, and that is because this year in the NHL draft, you can only move up a maximum of 10 spots. So Detroit, the highest they can go is the second overall pick. The Columbus Blue Jackets, the highest they can go is the third overall pick. As it works like that, Calgary only has a 1.1% chance of winning the lottery, and if they win, they get the sixth overall pick. And while that would suck for the Islanders because that means they would move down one spot, it just shows the NHL is doing a lot of work to balance this draft lottery and make it so it's kind of fair, where you don't have teams like Columbus, who were really competitive this season, winning the first overall pick. I do also want to point out they also made a rule that you cannot win the draft lottery twice in 5 years, and there are some weird parts to that. So apparently if the San Jose Sharks win the draft lottery, they can still pick first overall next year, even though they won a draft lottery last year, because technically they're the worst team and it only applies for moving up. But where this really comes to play is Islander fans, some of them were concerned that they don't want to win this draft lottery because they still want to get Gavin McKenna next year. And while there's still a long way to go before we even start talking about Gavin McKenna on this channel, I do want to clarify, if the Islanders do win this draft lottery, if the hockey gods do so decree it, they can still win the draft lottery next year. They would not be ineligible. And so, yeah, there's really no reason to not root for the New York Islanders to win this draft lottery. I know some people want them to win second overall and not first because they don't want to pick a defenseman. Listen, the Islanders need defense, they need offense, they need pretty much everything but goaltending. And even then, there are some question marks there, but they're not drafting a goalie. The real focus here is a win in this lottery would be absolutely huge for the New York Islanders. So let's hope for a New York Islanders lottery win and a New York Rangers lottery loss. Now, really quickly, there are some fun conspiracy theories, as there is with every NHL lottery. We don't even know who won the lottery, and there are already conspiracies. But one thing that's fun about this is some of the conspiracies actually have to do with the Islanders. For starters, Meta AI seems to think the Islanders have already won the draft lottery. And perhaps this is in part due to a couple theories. One that involves, since the New York Islanders lost the All-Star game at UBS Arena, Gary Bettman is maybe secretly fixing the lottery so the Islanders do win. I do want to keep in mind, the lottery is not rigged. It's never been rigged. And frankly, this year it is going to be happening live. So while I'm sure there are technical ways they can fix it, the lottery is not being fixed. Although it is fun to note, a lot of times when there are these weird conspiracy theories, the universe just works in these ways where those, even though there is no actual merit behind this, sometimes it happens. So maybe this will give the Islanders the extra boost they need to win the draft lottery, which would be amazing. Again, I'm wearing my Lucky Islanders shirt. I don't know how I feel about this. I don't feel really confident the Islanders are going to win the lottery. I mean, how could you? There's only really a 7.5% chance. But, that's 7.5 universes out of 100 where the Islanders get the first or second overall pick. So there definitely are some real chances, although you do kind of have to really hope they get lucky. But it's not as crazy, at least as the chances that a team like Calgary moves up. The Islanders do have a very real shot at moving up in this draft. And again, the top team, the San Jose Sharks, really only has, I guess if you add their two odds combined, they do have a 50% chance of a 45% chance of being first or second. But still, it shows every team needs to get lucky in order to win this lottery. Why not the New York Islanders? Let me know in the comments before the draft lottery happens, where do you think the Islanders are going to pick? And if you do think the Islanders are going to win the lottery, who do you want to see them get? Do you want to see Michael Misa or Matthew Schaefer? As always, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to the channel. My name is Patrick Nilan. This is Islanders Digest. Let's go Islanders.